Since his inception in May of 1962 by the great Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, it's always been the belief that Bruce Banner exists to protect the world from the Incredible Hulk. His massive intellect is usually enough to hold the Jade Giant at bay, but not always. But right now we're asking the question, what if the Hulk exists to protect us from Banner? I've long held a theory about the Hulk. I've never shared it before because, well, frankly it terrifies me to my very core. We have always thought of the Hulk as the manifestation of Dr. Banner's trauma that he experienced as a child, or perhaps his ID, his shadow, his fury, his rage. But what if the Hulk is none of those things? What if he exists to protect us from Banner? Banner is in some sort of control center speaking to Betty, his former wife. She's telling him that he shouldn't keep him locked up. He's just a child. And that Bruce shouldn't blame himself for what happened in El Paso. El Paso will get explained later down the line, don't worry. He screams back saying he doesn't blame himself. He blames him. Bruce never wanted this. He never wanted to be a hero. He wanted to push the boundaries of science. But then, engines to 20%. Boom. But then the green tumor started to grow. He's afraid of what happened in El Paso will happen again. One day he's going to come out and he'll never wake up again. The Hulk is immortal. Bruce isn't. He's going to get out, Betty says. He screams, trapped behind his mental door, pounding it into oblivion. Things blowing up in my face is how we got here. It might as well be how it ends. Now get out of my head, he shouts. Meanwhile, in a secret mountain or building somewhere, the Avengers and a few others meet to discuss the big green elephant in the room. They discuss how the events that took place in El Paso may have truly broken Bruce for the last time. This may be the greatest threat they've ever faced. Captain Marvel asks about the official death count, but the captain to our right says one is too many. And they're currently tracking his location. But Strange is distracted. He's asking himself, how did he do it? How did Bruce build such a thing? He's asked every Mystic and Omega level telepath how, but they can't answer his questions. What's happening? Steve shouts. Bruce has fractured his mind into parts and rebuilt it into, well, I believe he's turned the Hulk into a starship. He split his psyche into 3 distinct parts. He's modified and upgraded the external frame with tech that he very violently stole from AIM and then somehow surgically implanted it into the Hulk's body. He's built his own mind palace. Strange says he visited it in astral form. It's located right where the Hulk's psyche should be. But there sits Bruce, a captain on the bridge of Starship Hulk. He continues to fight Tony's Hulkbuster, but they suddenly multiply and start to appear from all angles. He's surrounded. They use rockets filled with adamantium nanoparticle shrapnels. It burrows into his skin. It burrows in and creates any shape or form it wants. In this case, it's a cage. Sorry Bruce, this is where it ends. Strange continues, which brings me to the third element of Bruce's new mind palace. We all know that to keep the Hulk's outer body strong, his psyche must be angry. Which is why Bruce has kept him locked away in what he calls the engine room. And with a push of his throttle, Banner! He controls the Hulk's rage. As his psyche prepares for a fight, so does his outer body. The stronger his mind fights, the stronger his body does too. Hulk pulls his arm from the adamantium cage so hard it rips it clean off. He leaps to the Hulkbusters. I'm not mad. I'm angry, he screams, as he tears Tony's $1 billion armor to bits. tossing it to the side like a broken bicycle. Tony is distraught. How did you know I wasn't in that suit? I didn't. As he rages, so does his mind. He puts Tony's glove on and blasts its master through a wall. Tony tries to reason with him. That's enough, he says. But Banner isn't listening and connects with a right hook, almost sending Tony into a coma. Don't do this, Tony says. I'm not here for you, he says. I'm here for this. It's a machine used to build wormholes to evacuate civilians in case of an attack. He's going to borrow it, he says after he begins to hurtle himself through space and time. The pressure being exerted is beginning to be too much for him as he bleeds from his eyes. But he likes it. He's fueled by it. He emerges on the other side, confronted by the alternative reality timeline hazard operations response and intervention team. But he doesn't give a fuck. That is, until something takes hold of him. He puts the engine room into stage 2. The Hulk has only just finished decimating an entire army fleet. Stage 2. Monsters. Outside, Banner is searching for what has hold of him. Whatever it is, it's searching for Gamma. He thinks the Avengers might have found him. More power, he says, as the Hulk rips through what seems to be Fin Fang Foom. Stage 3 has begun. It's a giant-sized Wolverine. He immediately impales the Hulk, but he's even angrier now. He's always hated Logan. As he runs up his arm and Hulk smashes his cornea into a different dimension. Engines are critical, his starship tells him. Wolverine swats him away. Get up, Banner screams, as Logan prepares for another swipe. Betty's back. You're going to break him, she says, as he grabs onto one of his claws. You're wrong, Betty. Hulk rips it clean from the socket. He's the strongest one there is. Finally using the Wolverine's own claw against him, impaling it into his chest. But it's not enough. His engines are all failing. Whatever has hold of him is winning. But he never loses, Bruce begins to sob. He falls into what seems some sort of underground facility. Where are we, he says. Let me out! I did it. After all these years I've caught one. Who the hell are you, he says, as he rages from his engine room. Why did you bring us here? You're so different from the rest. You can speak. You can reason. Don't be afraid. I mean you no harm. My name is Dr. Bruce Banner. A city on fire. When he leaves, when he lets me back out into my body, I lie there with my eyes closed, pretending to be asleep, and I wait. I wait to hear sirens or screaming, the sounds of death and dying. And every once in a while I wake up to the sounds of joy, to the sounds of celebration from my peers, and those that have deemed worthy of salvation. In those times, he has decided to play hero. It is in those moments that I can almost taste my rage. I feel nauseous as it rises from my gut, because after everything he has done, all the pain, all the death, the well of forgiveness the world affords him never seems to run dry. But I will never forget. He's awoken to a bright light, but he swats at it like a fly, sending the other Banner into a glass pane. Who are you? Start talking. I've never met an abomination so magnificent, he says. He's unbelievably offended. But he calms down and puts him down. My name is Bruce Banner. What is yours, he says. My name is also Bruce Banner, but some people call me Hulk. Perhaps we should compare notes. He asks what is this place, but he forgets he left the engine room on. as Hulk is trying to maim Wolverine with his own claw. He turns the engine off and giant Wolverine just disappears. But this only makes Hulk angrier. The new Bruce Banner explains that he is not a Hulk. You see, here in my world, the experiment, the G-bomb, it was a success. Every home could be powered by unlimited green energy, but I didn't know the dark side of this power. Instead, in that moment, I became death, destroyer of worlds. Since then, he's been trying to atone. The radiation usually just takes people out, but sometimes something amazing happens. Bio-waste casualties, they call them. They're like me, our Banner says. They're monsters. Where are they? Bruce asks, but the other doctor gets all weird and doesn't give a straight answer. Where are they? He screams. Where I found you, he says. In the void. He designed this whole thing to dispose of Hulks. He's not happy. He made me build it. Who did? He says. Who's in charge? He screams. My father, he cries back. My father-in-law, President Ross. Dun dun dun. Well, that's the first 3 issues of Donny Cates' 2022 run of the Hulk. And going against popular belief here, I really like this series. People hate on it a lot, but they say that the writing isn't great, but I just read to have fun. I don't really go too in depth on things. And also, Ryan fucking Otley is the illustrator, aka the illustrator of Invincible. One of my favourite comics ever, so I can't hate it. But yeah, let me know what you think. I think you should continue on and read the rest of the story, in my opinion. It's a really good read. It's fun. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you thought of the video. Peace.